giving away all the size. That reach is what has brought him so many of those wins.
Ladies and gentlemen, Miller Lite presents Bellator MMA from the O2 here in London. The time has come for the main event of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division, sanctioned by the ISKA, supervising at Cage-Side President Corey Schaefer. Tonight's main event is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. It's Miller time. And now, introducing, first fighting out of the blue corner, at 6'1", he weighed in 170.8 pounds. Tonight, making his return to the Bellator cage, the former welterweight world champion enters with 26 wins, 12 by knockout, 11 finished by submission against just 6 defeats. Hailing from Goiânia, Goiás, Brazil, he fights out of Atlanta, Georgia, USA, presenting Douglas, the Phenom. And across the cage, his adversary tonight fights out of the red corner at 5'9", weighing in 170.8. The well-known power puncher brings a veteran professional record of 38 victories, 13 defeats, and 2 draws. 28 of his wins coming by knockout, 2 by way of submission. Hailing from Nottingham, England, presenting Paul Daley. In charge of the action, your referee, Big John McCarthy.
6-time John McCarthy has refereed Paul Daley, the first, believe it or not, for Douglas Lima.
Protect yourself at all times, obey my commands at all times. I want you to fight hard and fight clean. If you want to touch gloves, touch them now. Good luck to both of you.
Goosebump moment that high-level MMA will give you when 2 of the very best meet. He walked into trouble. He immediately tries to tie Lima up in the half guard.
Interesting decision here. Will he try and go with his ground game and pass? It looks like he will.
Paul Daley has not been stopped in 15 fights since the famous fight which John McCarthy reffed with Nick Diaz, the Hagler-Hearns fight of MMA.
One of the greatest of all time. Beautiful left hand. So far, I'm sorry, Paul Daley showing great defense on the ground so far, getting that arm underneath.
He feels like a lot of great strikers that his ground game doesn't get the credit it deserves. He had the half-guard sweep against Dennis Olsen he was very proud of last year. Remember this, last year, Douglas Lima was a heavy favorite against Andrei Koreshkov. Everyone assumed Douglas Lima was going to win that fight because very few people knew about the injury. One man said Koreshkov is going to score this upset and win the title, and that one man was Paul Daley.
Let's go.
All the bravado, both these guys very, very smart. They understand the fight game. They're both students. Paul Daley can clear his head. Very, very smart. He's not going to get wild right now. Douglas Lima going for his ground game rather than separate and see if Paul Daley's cleared his head. Interesting choice.
Can you stay too married to a game plan?
Yeah, completely. Of course you can. This guy, he had hurt, he had him rocked. As long as he's grappling, that gives him time to clear his head.
Stop. Get apart. Fight.
Now we'll find out.
Both these guys covering a lot of real estate with their punches. Really moving in off the jab and the right hand.
Daley eats another shot to get inside, this time trying to make it pay off. Lima quickly out of trouble.
Both Both guys committing 100%. Really expecting them to show more respect early in this fight, but both guys swinging for the fences. Nice short uppercut.
Let go of the cage, Paul.
How injured was Douglas Lima last summer against Koreshkov? This is more standing offense than we saw from him in that entire 25-minute fight. He couldn't move. He was a sitting duck for the takedowns of Andrei Koreshkov, and we couldn't believe it.
See the guy yelling at Paul Semtex. That's Kenny Johnson. Outstanding wrestler. Made the transition to coaching MMA. That's the guy he's been working with on his takedown defense. But man, the pressure Lima can put against you in the fence. Giant at 170.
Daley has thrown his hat in the ring for Bellator kickboxing. He feels he is elite in the world of that. He feels he is the best elite MMA fighter who is also a kickboxer. There's kickboxers at the top of that game who've had a few MMA fights, but none who make a living from it.
Douglas Lima, he's checking all those kicks. He's aware of them, moving his shin out.
What does that tell you? What have you seen about his knees? Watching the first 4 minutes.
He has faith in them. You wouldn't turn and check if you didn't believe in your knee. You wouldn't be throwing kicks if you didn't believe in your knee. You can lie to us in the interviews, and a lot of guys do, but you can see it when they start fighting. Paul Daley has tasted the power of Douglas Lima, but he's still moving forward. Douglas Lima has to be careful. He has a tendency to drop his hands after he throws punches, after he throws combinations.
Paul Semtex Daley survives the early shot. Stays aggressive, but Douglas Lima's first round back is a successful one. There's the left.
Beautiful shot. Caught Paul Semtex Daley coming in. And Douglas Lima went to the ground, tried to pass. Man, beautiful timing on that shot. Caught him at the perfect time and couldn't get the separation to land ground and pound. And that's been the story of the first round. Both guys taking risks. Both guys leading in with big shots. Both guys looking for the finish. No surprise there.
And when you see Douglas Lima starting to look confident, you flash back to just what a dangerous weapon he was. Sophie and Mercedes making the trip. We have waited a long time to make this trip, 17 months, to have this fight finally take place. Originally scheduled at the British invasion at Mohegan Sun. Tonight, Douglas Lima is the one trying to invade, and he made a statement in the opening seconds of round one.
Both guys committing to that leg kick.
Keep in mind, Douglas Lima has not been knocked out in 20 fights in 9 years. He literally was a teenager the last time he was knocked out.
Remember correctly, it was Matt Brown as well. That's a tough guy if you're getting knocked out by somebody. It's a hell of a name to get knocked out by. No shame in that.
Paul Daley staying aggressive.
And he is moving forward. He's absolutely fearless. It's something you don't often see in a technical striker like Paul Daley.
Even in the fights in which he was a heavy favorite against Dennis Olsen, against Andy York, he was cautious, he was smart. Yeah. He picked his spots.
Much more aggressive in this fight. Could be the hometown pressure, could just be the excitement of having a title shot in his grasp, but Beautiful stuff with the leg kicks by both guys.
Unforgettable. The welterweight world title win for Douglas Lima against Rick Hahn was just a leg kick clinic.
Brutal. A hard fight to watch.
When you use that expression and the metaphor of chopping a guy down, he chopped him down.
Well, he's dealing with an experienced kickboxer, used to dealing with leg kicks. He's got tough legs, knows how to check.
This is where that home court situation plays in. The fans just looking for anything to cheer about. They're just waiting for that big moment. They were as stunned as Paul Daley was when he took that big shot in the opening seconds.
What I'm wondering is who's going to throw that effective third and fourth punch. Both guys throwing powerful singles.
Lima just trying to back him off with the leg kicks now.
But neither guy really throwing in combination. Paul Daley playing the bully a little bit more in this second round.
Those of you new to MMA, don't be confused necessarily by who's going forward and who's going backward. But Paul Daley is dictating round two.
Also remember, that's the easiest thing for the judges to see. It's the second, oh, good left hook. That hurt him. Rocked by the uppercut.
And Paul Daley says more, bring it on.
You should oblige him. He's backing off right now. I think he has him hurt. I think that's a little false bravado by Paul Daley.
And Douglas Lima starting to pour it on now. And it's Daley going for a takedown, which is as telling as anything you're going to see.
I think he's hurt bad. And for the high crotch, look how Daley just falls to the ground. Lima bullying him down. Short right hands.
Douglas Lima trapped in half guard. He was trying to get that knee over the arm of Daley and try to seatbelt him.
Hasn't let him off the hook since hurting him on the feet.
A big start to round one for Douglas Lima, a big finish to round two for Douglas Lima.
Question a lot of things. You cannot question the chin or the heart of Paul Semtex Daley.
Still throwing, still walking forward, but still paying the price.
Douglas Lima's starting to slow down. He may be tired.
Left got through.
Oh,
What
good
a
right.
second round, and a huge answer from Douglas Lima. He gets Daley to the ground in the closing seconds of round two. And round two comes to an end just as Douglas Lima was maneuvering Paul Daley into a fight-ending situation. And you see Paul Daley gets up gingerly.
He needs some help to his corner for sure.
A very strange end here to round two.
Powerful work in the clinch, but it was the punches at range that hurt Paul Semtex Daley. That was earlier in the round, but at the end of the round, look at this left hook, followed by the right hand. The left hook by the ear takes away all of your equilibrium. Paul Semtex Daley wobbly at the end of round two. They're calling for the ringside doctor.
You saw Paul Daley, he got up in a very strange way. A quick look from the ringside doctor of Paul Daley to make sure he was okay. As John McCarthy taking a few extra seconds before this third round. Paul Daley, the knockout specialist, may very well need one now.
One thing Paul Daley said, Douglas Lima has a vicious weight cut to make 170. He said he will fade late. I will take him in that third round. At the end of round 2, Douglas Lima looked very tired. Oh, good right hand. Daley is still dangerous, make no mistake.
One fight in 2 years for Douglas Lima. He spent much of that on the ground being taken down by Andrei Koreshkov. No cartilage in his knee that night, no chance. He has built up a lead, but can he hang on?
Now let's restate the obvious. We are in Paul Semtex Daley's hometown. Can Douglas Lima feel confident about his lead? I wouldn't. If I'm Douglas Lima's corner, I'm saying finish this guy.
We've seen things much stranger than that.
I've given Douglas Lima both of the opening rounds, but Paul Semtex Daley has had his moments. If you're Lima, you can't feel good about going to the scorecards here.
What a fight this has been.
He's lived up to the hype.
Paul Daley thinks he's close. You can see it in his body language. He thinks he's close to landing that big left that has ended so many fights. And Lima perhaps sensing that, looking for the takedown.
Nice. Good single leg.
Would not let go of that right leg. Paul Daley escaped a few earlier in the fight.
Now in half guard, can he pass? Paul Daley doing a good job of getting that left arm inside underneath the armpit of Douglas Lima. Now switching to Kimura position. He's got to pass to really get that.
Just hold. We gotta work there. Let's go.
The 2 years away, you can tell weighing on Douglas Lima, but the early damage suffered by Paul Daley is what's weighing on him.
He had him hurt severely a couple times in round 2. Lima doing just enough here. I see Big John standing this up pretty quickly. If he doesn't improve or land something big.
Gotta work.
Minute 14. A shot at the welterweight world title on the line.
Always stepping over in a half guard, staying busy.
Douglas Lima scored the big shot in the opening seconds of the fight and never really let that momentum go.
Douglas Lima watched the Kimura with his left arm. That's what Paul Semtex Daley is trying to isolate, but it's very hard to get from half guard. Turned into a sweep though. Lima's not having it, able to get his arm out.
Can Paul Daley even get the ball back to throw that Hail Mary?
He is on top. Lima going for the sweep. Great job by Douglas Lima. Beautiful sweep.
At a critical time. For 14 plus minutes, Douglas Lima has fought pretty much the perfect fight to beat Paul Daley. Can he hang on, literally and figuratively?
Good stuff with that hammer fist. Hasn't been super active on the ground, but he's done just enough to keep it here.
Work to improve it, Doug.
Douglas Lima began the fight by putting Paul Daley on the ground. He ends the fight with Daley on the ground. Start to finish, Douglas Lima plays what might have been the perfect road game, trying to score the win in Paul Daley's home turf. We'll find out if he did it. A shot at the welterweight world title on the line. Did that man do enough to get back into a title fight? An unforgettable night at the O2 Arena in London. Did Douglas Lima do enough?
I think he did. I had it 30-27, Douglas Lima, based on his aggression on the feet. You said it well, hurt him early and never really let him off the hook. Beautiful left hook, floored him, couldn't get the finish in round number 2. Paul Semtex Daley was the aggressor, was the one moving forward, and Douglas Lima hurt him more than once with power shots. Then, of course, round 3, the takedown finished on top. That's why I gave him all 3 rounds, 10-9. But remember, we are in London, where Paul Semtex Daley is from. Douglas Lima can't feel good about his lead.
Michael C. Williams holds the answer in his hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance in tonight's main event, we'll go to your 3 cage-side judges. Sal D'Amato, Chris Lee, and Howard Hughes all score the fight exactly the same at 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Douglas the Phenom Lima.
The perfect road game, and Douglas Lima, the former champion, is back in the mix and back with Jimmy Smith.
I'm here with your winner, Douglas the Phenom Lima. You knew you were going in there against a heavy hitter. In that first round, you hurt him bad, couldn't put him away. Heart, chin, guts in his hometown, man.
Just before anything, man, I just want to thank God for finally being here healthy again. You know, last time I fought, we practiced with one leg. Heads off to Paul. Got hits like a truck, man. Never been hit so hard. Thank you, the London fans. You know, I know I wasn't the favorite here, but I'm proud, you know, to be here fighting in front of all of y'all. Thank you.
Paul Daley, come on over here, my man. You just told Douglas Lima, you said, hey, a lot of talk, but I respect you. How much more do you respect him after that fight? You guys went to war.
No, I respected him from the beginning of the fight. You know, you say a lot of things to sell the fight, and you know, Douglas is he's a great fighter, and I can see why he's a champion. But I'll be back, and you know, I'll challenge him again. I'm sure he's going to be the champion again, so I look to challenge him again. Another thing, I said a lot of bad things about him, but you know, me and Doug, we spent a lot of time on promotional shoots as well. We went out together. We've had a drink. He is a genuine, nice guy. I hope he becomes a champion, and I'll work my way towards a rematch.
2 gentlemen, 2 very classy fighters, Douglas Lima, Paul Semtex Daley. Give it up for him.
The last time Douglas Lima left the Bellator cage, he had surrendered the welterweight world title. His career was very much in doubt. A dramatic return and a victory here in London tonight over Paul Semtex Daley. We promised an unforgettable night in London, and it delivered at the O2 Arena. The place was electric from the beginning. To see the Phenom, the 19-year-old James Gallagher, go to 4-0, and then Michael Venom Page did what Michael Venom Page does. Another spectacular knockout of Cyborg Santos. Francis Carmont getting back in the mix at 205 with a first-round sub, and then a heavyweight slugfest that we'll remember for a long time. Matt Mitrione going to 2-0 in the Bellator cage. And then the much-anticipated main event, 17 months in the making, and Douglas Lima goes on the road and earns himself another shot at the welterweight world title he once owned.